Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kupi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Kupi Janavallabha Kupi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Bhanachari Jamuna Tira Bhanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtotera Satashi Srimad His Divine Grace O Bhai Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtotera Satashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai ISKCON DBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Pramsakaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashri Gaur Bhakta Vrindi Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sri Maya Purnapati Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Shomabheta Bhakta Brinda ki jai. Thai Go Brahmananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Guru. Vishnu Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we're very fortunate to be here with all of you, and we're all fortunate to be here celebrating Mahaprabhu's appearance day. We're all very fortunate to be in Mahaprabhu's movement. By some inconceivable fortune, we are here. And I wanted to read a verse and discuss about that fortune. This is from the Sri Caitanya-caritamrta, Madhya-lila, chapter 23, the first verse. We're also going to be speaking this evening, so we'll cover some points now and some points later. Chiradatam nijagupta vitam supremanamamritam atyudharaha apamaram yo vitatara gaura krishno janebhyastamaham parpadye. So we can do the word meanings. Chirat, for a long time. Madatam, not given. Nija Gupta Vitam, his own personal confidential property. Swaprema, of love for him. Nama, of the holy name. Amritam, the ambrosia. Ati Uddharaha, most munificent. Apamaram, even down to the lowest of men. Jaha, one who. Vitatara, distributed. Gauraha, Shri Gaurakṛṣṇa. Krishnaha, Lord Krishna himself. Janebhyaha, to the people in general. Tam, to him. Aham, I. Prapadye, offer obeisances. So this is the first verse, so this is sort of an invocation prayer to this chapter. But it describes the nature and purpose of Lord Chaitanya. The most munificent Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Gaurakṛṣṇa, distributed to everyone, even the lowest of men, his own confidential treasury, in the form of the nectar of love of himself and the holy name. This was never given to the people at any time before. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him. This is why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered the most munificent. Because he decided to give something very esoteric and very confidential. Prabhupada says here in the translation, never given before, the word for word meanings is chirat, not in a long time. So never before, according to my calculation, is around 8 billion years. That was the last time Mahaprabhu came in this form to give Krishna consciousness as he's giving today. So never before means once in 8 billion years. And I just want to say congratulations to all of you. You showed up at the right time, in the right place, and you were intelligent enough to take it. When Srila Prabhupada was asked why someone will take to Krishna consciousness, why will someone be open to it and someone not, the devotees were looking for various reasons. Is it intelligence? Is it past devotional activity? Is it past samskars, impressions of piety? And that may contribute to it. But the cause of bhakti is not anything material. Of course, past devotional service is not material. But when Prabhupada was asked directly, he chose to answer because they're fortunate enough to take it. And as you may know, with Madhya-lila, Prabhu asked Prabhupada about our fortune to take to Krishna consciousness. What was our fortune? And Prabhupada said, I created your fortune. And how did Prabhupada create the fortune? By giving us devotional service, and we gave ourselves the fortune by taking devotional service. So this is how we view our acceptance of Krishna consciousness, or anyone's acceptance of Krishna consciousness. It's not something that we've earned per se. It's not something definitely that we deserve by qualification, but it's something due to some great fortune we have accepted. I did a study once of the qualifications of bhakti. What are the qualifications? And every time Prabhupada said sincerity. That was, well, I wouldn't say every time, 95% of the time. This is what Prabhupada chose for us to understand, your sincerity. If you're sincere, that is your qualification. What other qualification is there? What? You have another qualification?
Shraddha. Intense desire to have it.
Yeah, that's another definition of sincerity. Yeah. That I want it, not because I'm qualified, but because I want it. Once a man came to Prabhupada and said, I have this desire to be a pure devotee. And Prabhupada said, very, very, very good. This desire is very special. So to have a desire to advance in Krishna consciousness is a great fortune. And that desire should be maintained, relished, and protected. In fact, I don't know if you've heard this before, but Prabhupada said that for many, many centuries, Krishna was locked in a black box. And Mahaprabhu came and opened the box and made Krishna understandable and available to the people of the world. People of the world did not understand Krishna. They either didn't understand or they misunderstood. And Mahaprabhu opened the box and made Krishna understandable to the world. And then Prabhupada said, bhakti is like a sprouting plant. It's very tender, and you have to take care of it. And Prabhupada said, my greatest challenge was I had to take this tender plant and transplant it from India to the West. And he said, it was the most difficult thing that I've ever done. Fortunately, Prabhupada was able to do it due to his great compassion and devotion and inspiration and intelligence. He knew how to do it, and were the results of that. So, but we should never take it for granted. Hear this word chirad, a very long time, or as Prabhupada says, never before. we know we are in a situation where the transplantation of Krishna consciousness in the West and now in the East and the North and the South, everywhere, has only happened recently. This is an historic event, and we're part of that history because we're fortunate enough to take the mercy. So this verse is describing what is that mercy. So the two things, swaprema means love of himself, and namamritam, the nectar of the holy name. And I just wanted to speak a little bit first about this holy name that Mahaprabhu is giving, because it's not the same holy name that Lord Chaitanya gives in every Kali Yuga. This Kali Yuga is special, once in around 8 million, or someone could figure it out if they want. 1,000 ages. What is the calculation? 400,000, 800,000, 1,600,000, and 3,200,000 added up together. I think it's close to 8 times 1,000 or something. 5 billion, 6 billion, something like that. 1,000 ages. So Mahaprabhu comes. And specifically in this age, the holy name has the power to give the highest love of Krishna. And that's why Mahaprabhu came. He came not to give ordinary love, but special love. So he endowed the holy name that it would give essentially the same love that he was coming to taste. This is amazing, isn't it? Because this is unknown to the world, this kind of love. The love of the residents of Braja, the love of the gopis, that has been unknown to the world. The exalted nature of that love was unknown to the world. And Mahaprabhu is coming to taste it, which we will talk about today or tonight, now or tonight. He's coming to taste this love, a love that he, as Krishna, doesn't even understand. He has no idea what it is. And he wants not only to come and taste something that even Krishna has never tasted, and Krishna can understand, and then give it to us. Okay, that's amazing. But what's more amazing is us, the one he's chosen to give it to. Because it's so high, it's so esoteric, it's so deep, it's so profound, it's so rare. And now Mahaprabhu chooses to give it to people who really have no qualification for it. That's amazing, isn't it? And sometimes the example is given, the holy name's like a circle. So a circle will extend, it can extend all the way to the ground and go all the way to the sky if the circle's big enough. So the holy name is a big circle. It extends down to anyone who wants to take it without any qualification, any background in spiritual life. It's not necessary. It will pick up everyone all the way down to the bottom of the pile, and it will take them all the way to the highest position in the spiritual world. So that's the nature of the holy name. Other mantras are like smaller circles. They won't go down as low, and they won't go as high. Even Gayatri mantra, it won't go as low. There's qualification. You have to be initiated, right? You can't chant it if you're not initiated. I mean, you can chant it if you're not initiated. It won't do anything. And you can even chant it if you're initiated and you're not following strictly, and it still won't do anything. There's a qualification. You have to be initiated and you have to be in Sattva Guna. And then Gayatri and Pancharatriki mantras will do something. So even they don't work without Diksha and without following Sattvic lifestyle. So there's qualification, and it won't take you as high as the holy name. And the holy name, even without qualification, no Diksha is required, and you can chant and become purified. And it'll take you all the way to Braj, to Vrindavan Lila, in one of the 4 rasas. Is that amazing? Or is that amazing? So, sometimes the holy name given by Mahaprabhu is called the Prema Nam, to distinguish it from the Nam of the Hare Krishna mantra that he gave in other ages that did not produce that. It only produced the love of the residents of Vaikuntha. Nothing higher than that. So why did Mahaprabhu come to give this? Well, the generic universal answer is always, when you ask why did God do anything, the generic answer is because he wanted to, which is actually the philosophical answer. That's why he does everything, because he wants to. But simultaneously, he was coming to taste the very thing that he's giving. So he, as God, can't understand the love that Radharani has for him. It's bewildering. And God is Swarat. He's independent. He's abhigya. He knows everything. And that's something he couldn't figure out. Isn't that interesting? We say God knows everything. That's a definition. He knows everything. But the love of Radha was such that when he tried to understand, what was happening is Krishna would see Radha's love. And he would see her at a tamal tree and she'd be crying because it reminded her of Krishna, or she'd be embracing it. And she would see white birds and think, oh, that reminds me of Krishna's teeth. And she would have ecstatic symptoms, or flowers on a tree, that reminds me of something of Krishna. Or Krishna, she'd be present with Krishna, and she'd have a fear that Krishna was going to go away, or she thought he had gone away, and she would start crying. So Krishna would see this, and he couldn't understand. He just couldn't figure, what is this? What is she experiencing? I can't understand it. And then one day, Krishna was standing in front of a crystal pillar. And looking at the pillar, he saw this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person in the pillar. And he was overwhelmed with attraction. This person is so beautiful. Who is this? I'm becoming attracted to this person. It was him. He's so beautiful that even when he sees himself, he's attracted. So he's noticing Radha's love for him in all these various manifestations, and he's thinking, what is this love she has for me? I can't understand it. It's not something that I could study and figure out. What is it about me that's so attractive? And he was just becoming bewildered by it. I mean, what is more esoteric than this? God being bewildered by the love his devotee has for him. And he wants to understand it. But not only does he want to understand it, he wants to experience it. And he could only understand it by experiencing it, because with his mind, it's beyond him. It's too infinite. Or too something for him to understand. He can't understand it. It's beyond knowledge. So, as you all know, the only way he could understand that love is he has to have the mood of Radha. So, you've heard the saying, beg, borrow, or steal? So he was begging. Some acharyas say he begged the mood. Some acharyas say he borrowed the mood of Radharani. And other acharyas say he stole it. Beg, borrow, or steal. So somehow or other he wanted to experience the mood of Radharani because her love was so intense, so special, so deep. And when he enters that mood, even when he thinks of, sometimes when he thinks about Radha, his body turns golden. And there's stories of Krishna meditating on Radha. his body turns golden. So that understanding, that need to understand, and that endowment of the mood of Radha turns Krishna golden, and that's Mahaprabhu. And so what's so interesting and amazing, and why we're so fortunate, is that very mood that he's coming to taste. He said, okay, I'm coming to taste it. You want some also? I'll give you some also. Sure, why not? I'll take some. My hands are out. I don't even know what I'm getting. I'm just, I met somebody, they said chant Hare Krishna. I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, it sounds good, I'll do it. I have no idea what I'm getting. I have no idea what's in that mantra. I have no idea how deep that love is. And I will only discover it over time. And I have no idea of who this personality, Lord Chaitanya, is and what he's experiencing. Because even Krishna can't understand the love of Radha. So how can we, as young devotees, understand what Mahaprabhu is experiencing? By his mercy, we can understand. So, I believe, at least for myself, my own experience in Krishna consciousness, is that appreciation is one of the most powerful emotions. And sometimes, as we all experience, when we're chanting our rounds, sometimes there's always not a lot of appreciation for the holy name. But what is that holy name? That holy name contains Krishna Prema. That holy name contains our rasa with Krishna. It's all revealed through the holy name. That holy name brings us to Vrindavan. It awakens our relationship in the wake of the mood of the Brajvasis. That's amazing. What do we do to qualify for that? Nothing other than being in the right place at the right time and being smart enough to say, okay, I'll taste it, I'll chant. That's what's in the holy name, and the holy name will reveal all that over time. And so when we're not appreciating the holy name, we can think this holy name is really the personification of Mahaprabhu's mercy and Krishna's mercy and compassion, and a personification of his love. I had this experience, a very interesting experience. So I was in Jamaica. No, it wasn't Jamaica, Trinidad, which is in the Caribbean. It's kind of like the heartland of the Rasta. You know the Caribbean island, Yaman, Kulman, Ya. So we had just done a japa workshop for like 3 days. So I had gone more deeply into my japa. And then they have beautiful, 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 beautiful beaches. And I am addicted to beautiful, 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 beautiful beaches, having grown up by the beach. And living a few hours from the beach, because I was in Trinidad, I said on our free day, can we go to the beach? That's my recreation. Swimming is a Vaishnava sport, right? Actually, when Prabhupada came to San Diego, he asked the president, are you going swimming every day? Are you going to the ocean swimming every day? So it's bona fide. You can do it. So we went to the beach, and there's lots of Indians on that island. They migrated many centuries, well, probably at least 100 years or so. But the Indians aren't exactly Indians because they kind of merged in the culture, the island culture. So they're kind of like half islanders and half Indians and a kind of half Rasta, half, that's like a mix. So we're at the beach and there's this music going on, which I believe was in Hindi, which kind of sounded like something I never heard before, kind of like R&B, rap, something. And I asked the devotee, I said, is that in Hindi? He said, yeah. I said, what is it? They say they call it chutney. But it's, it's such a paradox because it's in Hindi, which is kind of a religious language. more or less. And then who knows what they're saying, but you could imagine what they're saying. So I'm listening to this. And after 3 days of chanting, I was feeling this appreciation for the holy name, that the holy name is a manifestation of Krishna's love. It's prema in the form of sound. That's what it is. And we're drinking prema, and that prema is purifying us and awakening us. So I was in that state of consciousness, pretty much fixed because we were just focusing on chanting for 3 days. Then I heard the chutney, the act of sex. If you put it into music, that's what it sounded like. My hands in ecstasy.